So do you hear the word content strategy and think, ugh, I totally get it, and it's really common, and a lot of people just don't know where to start with creating a content strategy, which is why I wanted to create this video to help you create an effective content strategy for your business. And if you haven't hit subscribe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time a new video goes live. Hi everybody, I'm Kaz, and I'm an elite digital marketing coach, and I'm here to help you find paying clients with your organic and paid social media. Alright, so let's discuss how you're going to create this content strategy. So this is a little nuanced from like a social media plan or a social media strategy. This is like what we're talking about, like the strategy of what you're going to use to create your content that's going to take people from the journey from discovering you to selling. So a lot of people talk about these buckets: content that serves, content that engages, and content that sells, okay? And I think these buckets are really useful to think of, because where I see people go right is they do way too much of one and not enough of the other, and I think it needs an equal balance across the three in order to take people down the path of really converting them into, from discovering you to engaging with you to, oh my gosh, they really like you, to then being able to buy your product. So what I encourage you to do is really think about, okay, what can I create that engages, what can I create that serves, and what can I create that sells? Now, where I see people get a bit confused is this is not explained very well, so I want to talk about each of the different types and give you some examples of what these could be. Okay, so within these three buckets, I want you to take some time to think about each of the three different and what you can post and what you can create in order to fill each of these kind of columns of content. So let's take the one of engaging. So engaging is you're going to spark people to engage with your content, okay? So maybe it's fill in the blank, maybe it's something funny, that always gets a really good reply. Maybe it's like, do you like this or that, okay? A really good one that people seem to love is, do you prefer to go to a pool or a beach? I know that sounds really rudimentary and a bit ridiculous, but I've seen people really engage with that post. So that's definitely a good one. So engaging is not only like getting people, you know, from a community building perspective, it's getting people to comment and really like get to know you better. But from an algorithm perspective, this is helping because the algorithms will see that people are engaging with you and they'll really like that, and so they'll show your content to more people. So this is a really great place to start. So definitely brainstorm, what can you do that is going to get people to reply to you, okay? And really get to know you better and you get to know them better, and it's more of a two-way thing as opposed to you just sending a message out there. So that is engaging. Under the topic of serving, okay? So this is, you are really sharing your knowledge, okay? So maybe you're creating a video on a common topic, maybe there's a question that you're getting asked a lot and you want to share, you know, a carousel post is really great for this. What is something common that you're being asked that you can share and serve? You're helping people. For me, I would think about the common questions I get asked. What's the best post? When is the best time to post? How to stay consistent? Those are really common questions I get. So I would make content around that. I love carousel posts for this. I love videos for this. I love reels for this, you know, like TikTok short form video. I love anything that just answers a really quick question. I think that works really well. So really think about, what can you do to serve people? And, you know, a lot of times people will worry about giving too much away. I think it really depends on your niche here, because for me, I can give a lot away, and the thing is with what I do, the platforms change and people don't always have the latest, you know, information, and even if they take what I do, they won't have the knowledge and experience of me running social media and Facebook ads across different platforms in order to be able to do it. So I don't really ever hold back on my content. Now, what I will say is I have friends that work in the mindset niche and the health and coaching, and where they deal with people. And for the most part, people change, but people at their core and mindset and whatnot are, you know, they are them. And I think what you have to understand is people are not buying the tactics, they're buying the working with you, either in a personal one-to-one or a group setting. They're not really buying like, oh, how to correct my mindset. Because as you probably know, it cannot be done with just information alone. That work has to happen between the two of you. So I don't want you to worry so much like, oh, you know, I'm gonna give somebody a tip on, and then they're gonna sleep better, and then they know, and then that's that. I think that's quite scarcity thinking, quite honestly, and I think you need to kind of just put that to the side. Not necessarily. The other thing is too, a lot of people don't take action on tips, right? Like and I'm guilty of this too. I listen to things, particularly in the mindset and self-help realm. I listen to things, I don't always take action on it. You know, I try, I really do, but it's, what you need to understand is you're not selling the information, you are selling the coaching, you are selling the help that only you and your perspective can provide. So don't get hung up on this and worry about like serving too much. I feel like if you come with an open heart, you will receive abundance back. So, you know, I hear this a lot from different niches, and I think there's different ways, and I think a lot of times people give advice that is applicable for one niche and not for the other. So if that's you and you're feeling like, yeah, but my niche, I still think it can apply. The other thing I do want to touch on with this, I hear product-based businesses say, well, yeah, you know, serving my audience, you know, I just sell a product. Not true. There's more to you and your niche and your business and than just your product. No matter what product you sell, be it in the baby niche, be it in the home decor niche, there are tips and tricks and things that you can offer. I think of one of my good friends that sells wreaths, right? So, you know, how to look after your wreath, how to create a wreath. I guarantee if she were to show how to make her wreaths, very few people are going to really take the time to make her $100 wreaths, quite frankly. I just don't see it. So definitely don't worry about this. There is always ways that you can serve. You know, people, they worry about like giving, you know, they're cookie bakers and they worry about giving their cookie recipes. It's unlikely people will really go and bake your cookies. I see cookie recipe all the time. I just like watching the recipes, quite frankly, you know. Do I bookmark and make some? Sure, but not always. So don't worry about this over serving problem, because at the end of the day, I don't think this is a problem, okay? Finally, we're going to talk about content that sells. Now, I think there are better ways to position this rather than like, hey, here's my product. I think you need to come from the perspective of what does the product serve, what is the need that this serves, and come from it at the perspective of why should your client or customer even care? What need is it going to serve, okay? If you are not sure about this, you know, a good way to think about this is what objections do you get? Do you have a higher price point product and people like, ugh, the price, ugh? So in that case, you need to really like break down what they're really getting for that price. Is it that your product serves like, you know, I think you really have to think about like the way you're pitching the sale, because if you're not converting people, I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why this may be, but one of the reasons is that your sales pitch and your sales posts are not that, they're not tight, and you have to play around with the copy and the messaging, and you may need to research and look up on that, but ultimately it just takes time and tweaking, and once you find it and it hits home and you're like, oh, that solves that, then I think you're going to be good. But ultimately think about that, and if you're not converting, you have to really tweak and change your messaging. But just try different things, try different messaging, try different angles, try coming from the perspective more of your client and different needs. Try, you know, people always want help with growing their business, getting more money, relationships, and health. So, you know, with that in mind, how can you position what you're doing to serve one of those three buckets? People always need help with that. So what can you do to serve those buckets and those needs? Okay, so before I wrap this up, I wanted to just briefly talk about TikTok, because what we're seeing with TikTok is the rise of quick nurturing, as I'm calling it. So what's interesting about TikTok and its algorithm is that once you follow somebody, you don't always see their content as often as you would on the other platforms. You follow someone on Instagram, you see their content. On TikTok, it's not quite the same. The ratio of new accounts you see versus existing accounts is very different. So what I want to say is that if you're working on your engaging and your serving, do what you can to condense that message and make sure it impacts quickly, because you may not have very long with these people. Now, the inclusion of paid ads will help with this, because paid ads will make sure that whoever's seen it sees it again. And that's why I like the combo strategy. Everyone's like, oh, you know, you don't need ads. No, you don't, but they help. So really think about how you're going to deliver your message quickly, efficiently, and effectively, because it may just be the only time that you get to do that, okay? People may see you, that you just may have those 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds to connect with them. And this is challenging with the rise of things like trends, because, you know, people are really going to make a big, you know, on TikTok, my trends, you know, perform pretty well. Are people really going to make that snap judgment when I've just stood there and there's been some information on my thing? You know, it's something that is a skill, and it's something that has to be mastered and played with, and creating content is the way to do that, because you figure out what works and you learn and you adjust accordingly. Okay, so here's what I want to know. What questions do you have regarding creating a content strategy? Let me know in the comments below. We'll get a dialogue going. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Now, if you need more help with content strategy, I want to invite you to the Social Simplified Text Club. This is going to be a great place, because what's going to happen is you're going to sign up, and every day you are going to get text messages of posts to share on your social media. They're going to be sent to your phone. You're just going to be able to copy and paste and post, and it's going to make life so much easier. So definitely click the link below. It's $14 a month. It's perfect for you if you struggle to be consistent with your social media. You can post as you go. You can get the text message and post, or you can, you know, even like save up some of the text messages and then schedule them in your content. It's really, really going to help you to be consistent with your social media. So if you want to learn more, click the link below. I cannot wait to see you in the club. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I cannot wait to hear how this strategy worked for you. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up.